stop sharing. Okay. Hope you all can see this presentation. All right, so friends, in our last session, Sindhuja ma'am had beautifully explained about the purpose of life, how to find our Ikigai, using these 4 parameters, the Ikigai map, which has 4 parts in it. So in order to find your Ikigai, you need to know what you love and what you're good at, and then what you can be paid for and what world needs. So if any one of the area is missing, then you will feel empty. That's what this Ikigai map talks about. And it was beautifully explained in the last session. And also our master GK sir, spiritual tablet founder, says shortest way to heal yourself is to realize your true purpose of life. So when we know the purpose of life, we won't have any suffering, right? We always live for that purpose. So yeah, let's go into next chapter of this book, Ikigai. So yeah, friends, I would like to ask you, what is life to you, right? So what is life? Life is full of experiences between happiness and sadness, isn't it? This is a reality. So when we are in happiness, we have no problem. We are so happy, we are in the 6th cloud. You know, we don't listen to anyone because we are in so much joy. So that state also unconscious state, because we are not in conscious, you are just enjoying yourself, right? But whereas in a sadness, right, you are very sad because you think that is the end of the world. So we have these experiences in life. So our life is also called as, you know, roller coaster between happiness and sadness. So every experience in life serves our purpose. Right? So every experience is very important because this is our life, friends. This is our life, whether it is happiness or sadness, it is our. So we have full control of it. So we can still find our purpose in both situations. And when we are happy, you enjoy the music. You know, there's a proverb here. I copied it here, masters. So when you are happy, you enjoy the music. You know, if you are listening to music, right? But when you are sad, you understand the lyrics. Because when you are happy, you are just moving around and, you're happy and, you are just enjoying music. You don't care about the lyrics, or those doesn't go in your ears, right? But when you're sad, listen to the same music. Every word makes a big difference, right? So that is when you're sad, brings more meaning to your life. That's what we are going to look into this today's topic. So that's why I wanted to connect the dots. And how to find, so yeah, so let's see how we lack the purpose. So why do we lack our purpose, right? Because we don't know what to do. We just enjoy watching to television all the time, and we are on our social media, talking all the time with the friends and Facebook. We care about those things. And also we are like maybe so much of stock market. We always looking for how to earn more money, but we don't know what to do with the money, right? And we don't know how to time pass. So we always waste our time in watching television. So that time, if you are happy and everything going fine, you have no complaint. But the days are not same masters. So you do go through the ups and downs. So the situation when you are not in stable and when you are in this zone, when you are purposeless life, then the problem happens, right? So that's when we lack the purpose. So how do we find our purpose in life? So we have vision, mission, and purpose. So vision is what you want to do, what you want to achieve. It's your roadmap, right? Where you want to go, what you want to do. So it can be smaller vision or bigger vision. So we usually see this vision word in companies, corporate world, right? But these can be our personal visions too. So you have to have a clarity. What is your vision? Small or bigger, doesn't matter. And then you have to have a mission. How to do it? Okay, I want to do this one, right? But how do I do it? So you have to question yourself. Then when you combine this vision and mission, that leads to the purpose. Why you want to? Purpose is we have seen that, we do everything what we do for ourselves first. Then once we satisfy, we do it for others, right? So if we are only empty, we don't have love, we don't have happiness, we don't have much money, then how do we look outside, right? Outside world, you don't look it. You're constrained within yourself. So purpose is like mainly you have to have a meaning to your life. Enjoying yourself is not a complete purpose, masters. This is just enjoying your life. But purpose is a bigger word that you look for the world. So when you combine these things, you understand what is the meaning of life. So there are some of the points that I brought here. So how can we find our purpose? Is like there are some areas that you can observe. Develop a growth mindset. Okay, you always want to have grow your, it could be career, it could be skill set, or it could be relationship, or whatever it is, right? You don't just stay there. You always try to have a growth mindset and create a personal vision statement, right? So what is your statement? What is you? So what you want to see yourself, right? So that you have to have those things. Then you understand, then it creates to purpose. Explore your passions. Okay, what you like to do, what you love to do. So you have to know those things and practice gratitude, self-acceptance. So gratification also leads to the purpose, masters, because when you are gratitude, because you understand the value of that, but it could be person, it could be thing, right? So when you understand, you feel so happy and you feel gratitude. Then that leads to you understand the value of that, and then you try to give the same thing to others. So giving others is purpose. Anything giving others. Then self-acceptance. You accept you as you are. Everybody are unique. We don't need to compare with anyone. Just accept. Be gentle to yourself. Whatever it is you are going through, just have a kind and self-love. So that also leads to purpose. So turn your pain into purpose. So if you are going through some pain, so you have to understand what is this pain, why it is causing me, what I need to learn, right? So usually when we are in pain, what we do, masters, we try to avoid it, right? We wanted to go away from it. Does that solve the problem? No. You have to understand why the pain is coming. again and again. It could be relationship, it could be kids, or it could be at work location, or anywhere, or even family matters, right? So you have to understand why the pain is coming. So when you understand, that will lead to your purpose. So one of the example I can tell you, like, you have a relationship problem, right? You always have some conflicts with your spouse or kids. So if you argue and if you fight every day, it will repeat every time, it will repeat. But if you think back, why, what I can fix it here, right? So if you think, then you will have a way. Either you can be, sometimes you have to let go or be quiet. So that makes the things lead into a right direction, right? So when you understand that pain, then that leads to purpose, because you're trying to calm every whole environment and yourself. Then you understand, yeah, what is the bigger thing that you can go to. Begin a journaling practice. So you have to journaling masters. These things doesn't, if you just read it here or read a book, doesn't come. So every emotion, every thought that is going on in you, that you need to make a journaling. Okay. Then read books. Reading books also, you explore, you come to know so much of information or knowledge that also lead to purpose, because your awareness increases and it will lead to newer thinking and newer bigger perspective. And join a cause. If somebody is suffering or if some society needs you, just join in that cause. So when you do something good for others, that brings, that leads to your purpose too, because you understand and you be there, you part of their life. So when you are part of their life, it will take you to your own purpose. So if you are there finding in others' purpose, that your purposes will be automatically come to you. Spend time with people who inspires you, right? So if you are in a group of that people who inspires you, if you are in that, then you also understand the purpose, because you are so happy and you talk the same language and same thinking process. So you might ask, questions that you are going through. So that lead into your purpose. Be part of a community. Take time for self-care and meditate and have a nature walk. So these are some of the things, masters, and it could be, there are many, depends on the individual, but I just felt like bringing it here for you. So let's go to the next slide. Yeah, today we're gonna talk about logotherapy to Ikigai. So how logotherapy, it is a kind of therapy, how it will bring your purpose, right? So therapy is like, you may think that, yeah, then when person is a sick or a depression, how that Ikigai is going, how that person is going to bring a purpose in their life. You may be wondering, but we will look into it. And yeah, so Sindhuja ma'am also brought this slide last week about the logotherapy and existential analysis and well-being theory. So when you understand these concepts, then these concepts will take you to the good relationships and bring a meaning to your life, and it will also make you achieve good things. It will transform you from suffering to achievements. So every suffering is also achievement, master, because you overcome those sufferings, right? When you understand that pain, when you understand what it is teaching you, then that means once you understand that, you have achieved that, and next time that pain doesn't come to you. And then these concepts also bring you to the positive emotions and engagement. Like, engagement means how you can engage yourself, which leads to the purpose. So purpose doesn't need to be a long-term, masters. Every single thing is also purpose, but it usually talks in a broader point of view, the long-term goals, right? These purposes, we don't need to just sit and talk about the purpose and all, right? Or start thinking about it. So these are the goals. It's a small goals and we have long goals. So usually long goals leads to the purpose. And that also, that long goals, when you have long goals or when you have a purpose, then you can also change your smaller goals day to day life, because that will be attached to your bigger goal. That's why purpose is very important in everybody's life. So here author says Viktor Frankl is a author for the logotherapy. He says that the greatest task for any person is to find meaning in his or her life. Isn't it, masters? Because that is a lifetime, it's a lifetime worth of struggle, isn't it? But you will have a happy life when you know the purpose of your life. So yeah, let's go into deep. So from logotherapy to Ikigai. So what is logotherapy? Logotherapy, in logotherapy, logo mean meaning. Okay, it's a Greek word. So therapy is a treatment. So a treatment to find a meaning is a logotherapy. So this logotherapy founder is a Dr. Viktor Frankl. Okay, he's from Austrian, and he's a neurologist, psychologist, and psychiatrist. So he brought a therapeutic approach that helps find a meaning in life, isn't it? This logotherapy is finding a meaning in our life in a therapeutic approach. So we'll see what is therapeutic approach in next slide. Okay. So and also he says logotherapy can contrast with the psychoanalysis, which is based on analysis. Right. Psychoanalysis means it's a analysis. Therapy is like a treatment. It will give you the solution. Analysis usually doesn't lead to the solution. It will lead to a temporary solution. It may give you, but not a permanent. But the therapy is like a permanent solution. You will understand how to tweak yourself in any given circumstance. So this mainly talks about finding a purpose in pain. And logotherapy has 3 parts, masters. So freedom of will. Okay, let's talk about who is Frankl. Okay, so he was a neurologist and psychiatric. We have seen that one, but he participated in concentration camp during the World War II. So he was a survivor from that concentration camp. So during World War II, and he found a meaning of his life in the concentration camp. So you all know, masters, concentration camp is, you have a lot of suffering, more than bigger than a jail. So you have a lot of suffering, lot of pain you go through, right? So he had to go. He was a researcher, and he wanted to do so much to the society. But during that time, him and his family members, wife and parents, everybody had to go through concentration camp. So he had a way to, he could have come out of that camp, but he stayed in a concentration camp because his family members were there. Okay, so he wanted to help them in going through these painful situations. That's why he stayed there and helped everyone. So he found his meaning when he was in a concentration camp. So his Holocaust experience taught him that pleasure wasn't as important as meaning. Right? So he found a meaning of life, real meaning of life, because pleasure is not that important, masters. When we don't understand what is a purpose and why we are here, what is our meaning of existence, then we think that yes, yeah, pleasure, happiness is so important. Going to movies, eating good food, or always just watching movie. Those, but yeah, of course they are important, but that is not the only thing. There are bigger meaning to your life, right? So when you understand those bigger meaning, you always strive to live for those meaning, isn't it? You want to die for those meanings. So that is what we need to identify. So logotherapy again he had come up with three concepts: freedom to will, freedom of will to meaning, meaning of life. So you have a freedom. Every situation, whether you want to go for that situation or the other situation, you have a choices, right? So you have a life is full of choices. So you have a freedom of will. You can choose any time at any cost. Once you choose that free will, once you choose that choice, then you have to understand that is that choice is giving any meaning, right? So when any time if you have a freedom, right, you can choose anything. So you have to think back, stay back and think, is it any meaningful? Is it meeting my purpose? I have some values and I have some goals. So you have to think in those terms. Then will to meaning. Is this will, free will or choice that I chosen, is it has any meaning? Then that meaning, then when you identify that meaning, then what is that meaning in my life? How it is bringing in your life. So you need to analyze, bring into these three pictures into life anytime you have any choices. You have conflicts, right? Every time you have a conflicts in life. So you have to choose your values and what is it bringing it to the society in a bigger purpose, or first yourself and then bigger picture. So author says Frankl brought up these good points, how he treat his patients in a logotherapy. First, a patient comes, right? Patient means it's not a really patient. He's like some depression person. He's going through some anxiety and depression and so much painful situation in his life. So he comes and therapist shows that desire to have a meaning, because anytime he goes to pain, what therapist shows is like there is a meaning. So the soul, the life is striving for a meaning. That's what it is. That's why you are not identifying your meaning. That's why it is going through the painful situation. So he make them understand that yes, you have some desire to your life to find a meaning. Then discover his meaning of life in the current moment, in the present moment. At that time, he will ask like, yeah, what do you want? How you want to see your life to be, because he's suffering so much, right? So he will ask what you want. We ask, if some small kid is crying, then we ask, what do you want, right? We don't just ask them million questions or frustrate them more. A small baby. So what do you want, right? Then they will say some chocolate or something. So like that, we treat those patients like, what do you want to see in your life to be? So he discovers the meaning of life. The patient only tells, yeah, these things are important to me. This is not going well. So he will note down those important points, whatever they bring in. Then based on their free will, he asks them to take those decisions, right? Because they want something and that is not, they are not able to see that. So they want to live for those choices or values. So he make them identify those and ask them to choose those. Okay, he doesn't do anything, just asking the questions, right questions, and right information he brings from them. And now they find the meaning. Yes, maybe like, if, for example, if somebody is lost their child and they will be depressed, right? So how do they find a meaning? Because they feel they wanted to die as well, right? Sometimes parents, oh, my kid is gone and I'm now so full of emptiness in my life and all, right? So they bring the therapist, make them understand that, do you have a meaning to your life? Why can't you do the bigger purpose? Why don't you live for the world? So he will create, what are your values, what your that loved one had taught you, or what you like in them. So those questions. And then then after identifying those strengths, make them identify their passion to overcome the pain. Then next one, discover the meaning of life, right? So how he discovered the meaning in the patients is using this, again, one more triangle, meaning triangle, right? So this meaning triangle is, meaning triangle, he kind of derived from this Maslow's hierarchical need, Maslow's triangle, masters. So Maslow's triangle, it's a hierarchical needs. It talks about hierarchical needs. So what are these hierarchical? He has a triangle with a physiological needs, safety needs, and you have self-actualization. Self-actualization means how you see yourself in reality. So you have your meaning, purpose, and you have your attitude, how you want to be, your character, and all those things, right? So he brought from the top, this is physiological needs or basic needs, he talks in a Maslow's triangle. So basic needs is self-awareness, self-discovery, being versus doing, existence, body, mind, and spirit. So basic needs are like roti, kapda, and makan. Everybody needs, right? A human life means they have to have these things. Not only human, even animals. They have to, animal or any living being needs some food to live, basic needs. Then they have a safety needs. Then psychological needs, that emotional needs. Then self-esteem needs and self-actualization needs. So he took this love, esteem, and self-actualization and made a triangle here. Okay, so this triangle is like you create. So here create means you have a creating your legacy of life. So how you want to create your life? So you have some skill sets, God's gift, God gifted skill sets you have. Okay, and how you want to use those skill sets, and how you want to be a creative and give back to the society, right? So you need to identify what are your gifted things, right? What you have come with, gifted skill set. So you have to identify those, because those are all strong points for you to identify your purpose. So that's why you have to hold on to those, your gifted skill sets. And then you have to experiential. You need to experiential means how you experience your life. What you see, what is the experience of life, masters? Love, right? Love is the ultimate one. Everybody, no matter what, even suffering person or happy person, everybody is striving for a love. So have a good experience in life, isn't it? Of course, happiness gives good experience. Even in the suffering time also, if you change that experience into love experience, how beautiful life would be, right? So that's what here author is talking about, experiential. Have a what I can take from life. Don't just cling on to the small things, right? Just see a bigger picture. Here is always a bigger picture. See a sunset, sunrise, or a full moon. Those all the things, a nature walk and going into the beaches. Those all these things bring a bigger picture. Makes you so much happy. Giving a love to others. When you give love to others, you also enrich yourself. You enrich others and enrich yourself. So these are the experiences. You don't need to pay anything, nothing. Just if you are going through suffering, just understand these things. Go experience this beauty of nature, beauty of being with others is pain. Okay, so that is what he brought up. So how you experience your life and bring a most joyful moment. So if you are filled with this one, then you will leads to your purpose. Then attitude. So if your attitudinal means if you are suffering, what is your attitude? You want to make it more worst, or you make it a less worst, right? Or make those into happy moment. So any circumstances, masters, we have a choice to choose. Doesn't matter what circumstance or what experience you go through, what life throws at you, doesn't matter. You still have a choice, right? You may wonder, how do I have a choice if I am suffering? Yeah, you are just thinking you're suffering, but you have a choice. You want to, if you think that, yes, I want to be happy, it doesn't matter whoever causing me pain. Always is suffering means you always think others. Because of others only you suffer, right? But why do you respond to others? So that's where you view that life. Does it matter? Others' point of view. Does their judgment matters to me? So those are the points you need to bring. So accept yourself. I know you are going through pain. I understand, and they are causing the pain. But why we don't need to go through the sufferings and make our life miserable, right? You still have a choice to stay happy and be positive. How do you be a positive again? Be a mindfulness. When you are mindfulness masters, you have a choice to always take a good choice. Others is bothering, doesn't matter to you. So your attitude always changes. So these are the three values he can discover the purpose, being a creative and being experiential and attitudinal. So he brought from this top triangle, the meaning triangle, the meaning of this one, because the bottom is like, anyway, we all, doesn't matter if you have a purpose or no purpose, these things will meet. Every person who took a birth on the earth, everybody go through this needs. And see here, see creative, when you are creative, it has shown the Mahatma Gandhi. See why Mahatma Gandhi has to go through this weaving, right? Clothing. He weaved his own clothes. And he told everyone to make their own clothes, right? Why he had to do that? Because he wants to bring a change into the world, isn't it? Non-violence he did. Why he has to do that? So much suffering he had to go through. Why? Because of the world. Because of what he had gone through those days for the freedom, today we are enjoying. Don't you see how beautifully we are enjoying, right? But still we have so much suffering. Even we do nothing, not a bigger picture, but we still have so much suffering. So even spiritual tablet we have, masters, you are the creator of your own reality. So whatever you create, whatever you are going through misery or happiness, everything, you are the creator of that. Okay, if you think, yes, I have to go through misery, you will go through misery. If you think it doesn't matter to me, there is just something going on in the other side, I don't want to spoil my day. Yes, you can choose to be happy, right? You just go for a walk. So that is the thing. And here talks about the difference between the psychotherapy and logotherapy, masters. So psychotherapy has or psychoanalysis and logotherapy. Analysis is like, they treat them as patient as a patient. Patient sits in a recliner. But in a logotherapy, they treat patient, the whoever person comes as just a friend. Okay, they just sit straight to the therapist and they go through the talking just as a friendly talk without any judgment, no judgment at all. You can freely talk. Usually those are the these type of discussions we do during our spiritual tablet counseling, masters, right? You see friendly conversations. And psychoanalysis has a past, they look into the past, but whereas in logotherapy they point towards future, how you want to see your future to be. That's where they point. And they analyzes the neurosis, like neurosis is a mental illness, and this logotherapy doesn't take to the neurosis, it doesn't talk about mental. And they temporary pleasures, they drive them patients to the temporary pleasures. They tell them, oh yeah, why don't you watch movie, and why don't you go to the nature walk, and all those things. Those are the advices they give to the patient. But whereas in logotherapy, they make them identify the purpose and meaning, right? Because once you understand your purpose, masters, these things automatically come because you want to live for your life. So you make every effort to make a happy life. So you do everything, whatever psychoanalysis, the materialistic enjoyment you do and spiritual enjoyment you do, you live for everyone, for you and for others. So that is the big difference between knowing a purpose and not knowing the purpose. So this talks about the spiritual dimension of that, of the human being, and whereas psychoanalysis is psychology. They talk about the psychology. So yeah, these are the some of the things, masters. So you can go through this later. So in a logotherapy, it talks about on the faith, right? Faith means you believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, you cannot achieve your purpose. You cannot do anything. Always believe in you. So next slide, masters. Fight for yourself. So why do you fight for yourself, right? In day-to-day life, we always go through the struggles. So one of these struggles are existential frustration. So we go through these frustration. Existential means why we are living. This is existential talk about our life. So we go through all frustration because we have no purpose. Even if you have purpose, it is not aligned with you. Maybe you copied somebody else's purpose, right? You are somebody you see on the TV, or some of your friends or family member, and you align your purpose to be that. And that is not your purpose. That is their purpose, and you copy it. Then also you go through the existential frustration. Then existential frustration leads to the existential vacuum, because you feel that is the end of the life. Okay, you have no life. See, so in an existential vacuum, you feel depression, aggression, anxiety, and addiction, because you have no meaning of life. It's full of emptiness. That is the vacuum. So when you don't know what to do, that's why you people are all they are addicted with their smoking, they're alcoholic, they go for every single movie. Why? Because they don't know what to do. They don't have any meaning in their life. There's so much meaning, but they don't focus on that, and it can result into noogenic neurosis. Noogenic is related to spiritual neurosis. That means it is the time for you to think in a spiritual point of view. Nous means spirit. And this is good point. This good thing. It's a positive thing to happen, because something is happening. Some frustration or depression is causing you to think in a bigger way. Spirituality. Why we are thinking? Because every being is a spiritual being. Because that's how did you come to the existence? How you came into mom's womb, from one cell to two cells to how big body. Just think about that. So that is a spirituality. So noogenic neurosis, it leads to neurogen, which is a good thing. And it is a catalyst for a change. So when you have an existential frustration, little bit, that's good. But you have to reach to a right person and right thinking, right? So you have to have that goal, have that direction to reach out to a good friend or good person, a guru, or who understand these things, who brings a change in you. So go and talk to them. They will guide you. And health issues also come due to the existential frustration, right? So because you compare with the past versus future accomplishments, and you compare with the friends and family, so you always compare. That's why you get frustration, because you don't think about you. What is your situation? What is your status? You always look outside. And then strive to take challenges. So at that time, when you're frustration, you still take challenges, right? You just go with your struggles. And you don't get any peaceful existence. You don't, when you go through a struggle, you think that you decided that your life is full of struggles. That's it. Till end of the life, you will be struggling, because you think you blame on God. God has given you this kind of life, so you will suffer. That's it. But that is not the friend. That's what author says, that is not the end of the life. You have bigger than that. Every life brings a meaning. We have to just understand. And then also it leads to the existential crisis. If you don't take care of your existential frustration, that will lead to existential crisis. What is crisis means? It is very critical situation, right? Critical. When crisis happens, it's an emergency, you can think of. So when the existential crisis happens, then you start thinking about what is truth. Okay, why am I here? What is my life? What is death? What am I doing? Did I come here just for raise kids and just take care of my family? So those things come into your picture because you're so much into deep frustration. Okay, so that time, masters, if you take a good decision, again reach out to good guru or friend, then you will go into a spiritual path and know the purpose. If not, you will end life with the same struggle, whatever you're going through. And then also one more thing is Sunday neurosis. What is Sunday neurosis, friends? This is when Sunday comes, you don't enjoy your Sunday, the free time, because you don't enjoy your all 5 or 6 weeks, 6 days you work, and you don't enjoy your work. So what happens? It's hard for you to come out of your work life because it's so much of stress at work because you're not enjoying. So your Sunday will go. Half of the day you try to think about your work, and again half of the day you think about Monday morning, right? Everybody has that Monday morning. Why Monday morning? When you enjoy your life, when you do enjoy your work, there's no Monday morning or Friday. Thank God Friday. Why it is that? Why it is coming? Because you're badly looking for the relaxation. Because you are not finding a relaxation at work. You are not liking your work. So that's why you have to choose what you like or make it a like. So you understand that, yes, every job has its own struggle and everything, its own challenges. So either you make it as you wanted or change your job. So that is a Sunday neurosis, friends. And next, so author says the key ideas for better living through logotherapy are, you need to understand that we don't create the meaning, we discover it, right? If you are creating means, oh my gosh, I need to create my meaning of life. That takes another so many lifetimes, but we are not here to create it. Life is already has a big meaning. We just have to discover it. We have to identify what it is. Read your from childhood to now. What are your strong points? What is your, what you like to do? How you did it in the past days? What motivated you? Those things. So you have to think in those points so you will understand your purpose. And we each have unique reason for being. It can be adjusted or transformed. So yeah, so because of others' beliefs, we have sidetracked, we derailed. So what we have to do, we have to adjust it because every life has a meaning. No matter whose, nobody's life is like gets wasted, master, when God has given us or when you choose this life for a purpose. But we need to understand that. And then attachment to desires. Hyperintention causes the fear which stops fulfilling it, isn't it? So you attach to your desires. Maybe you wanted something and you without that desire you will not stay happy. You feel you have to have that one, so you always think about that. You put so much intention, then that creates a fear because, oh, what happens if I don't reach that, or if I don't receive it, right? So then when you fear starts occurring within you, then it stops fulfilling it, definitely, right? So that's what you should not cling so much attached to the desires. Yeah, have a desires, put an intention. If it comes, but don't waste your time or your life. Humor can help break negative cycles and reduce anxiety, that we all know it, right? So now and then just have a laugh. If nobody's there, just have a good music or good movie or go to the nature walk. We all have the capacity to do noble or terrible things, and it depends on our decisions, not on the condition in which we find ourselves. So these conditions, master, this condition, outside condition, everything will be there. You cannot overcome those, but you have every point, every step of your life has a decision, choices to make. Want to live happy or not? When you live happy, definitely your surrounding changes, because they will see and feel jealous. Wow, no matter how much pleasure I am giving, they are still, she's so happy. So they stop giving you pleasure. So you can also motivate others to find their purpose. So that is the magic, masters, being in happiness and being in purposeful life. So one of from his Frankl, um, Viktor Frankl did so many case studies from his patients, right? So he came up with, he talks some of the examples here. And one of the example is himself, Viktor Frankl himself was one of the case study he brought, how he came out of his pain or suffering during the concentration camp, right? So he, even when before going to the concentration camp, he wanted to do so much of social service and serve the society, but he had to go through the World War II concentration camp. So along with his family. So when he was in the family, he did not leave his goals, because his goal is to help everyone, right? Even though he was going through so much suffering, so much pain, no food, no sleep, but he had so much deep rooted, his goal deep rooted, that made him every day alive. Usually, whoever goes to concentration camp, they don't come out of with life. So, but if you have a strong goal, that will lead to the strong purpose, and you want to live for those purpose, live for those goals. So he lost their parents, wife, everybody, but he still survived. He came out of that concentration camp, and he created the school of logotherapy. Can you imagine, masters? And a beautiful logotherapy, right? How so many people can come out of their painful or sorrowful situations. So he created, even though he went to so much suffering, but he was able to create a beautiful school. So he was a first testimony for his own camp. He was the first patient of his own school, logotherapy school. So when he was in suffering, when he lost everyone, he would still live on those lovely moments then he spent with the wife. He never suffered, he never cried, and he just thought, it is my end of life, I lost everyone, why I need to live. He never thought that, masters. So he always had a purpose. He always took those memories, those beautiful memories, into consideration, and he lived his life. And he just was with the memories, not with the people maybe, but with those beautiful, sweet memories. So that memories made him to come out of a camp with life and created his logotherapy school. And he did a lot of research later, and he gave a lot of interviews. You can listen to his interviews on the YouTube. And the second case study is suicidal mother. So one mother wanted to suicide, and she was going through so much depression, and she reached out to this clinic, Viktor Franklin clinic, and how he gave how that school identified her purpose is. So he created a hypothetical situation, imaginary situation. So this mother wanted to die because this mother had two kids, and one kid is paralysis and the other kid is healthy child. And so she was just living for healthy child because she was very good with that boy. I know the little one has a handicapped, but she didn't worry much because she had a meaning to live for that older boy. And in older boy died in an accident. Then all her dreams became zero. She wanted to suicide because she doesn't feel a meaning to live, because the other boy is paralysis boy, and she feels so low energies, and she doesn't know how to handle her life with that boy, right? And she wanted to die. So she reached out to this clinic, and he showed a imaginary thing that, okay, imagine a mother, a woman, old woman on her deathbed, has no kids and has so much of money. Can you imagine what is her life and what is the meaning of her life? Does she has any meaning, masters? No, because she has so much money, but she didn't go through any experiences, right? She just had so much everything. What is that experience? Full of money, having a money and live happy life for 100 years. Is it that a meaning? No, because you have to live for a bigger picture, bigger purpose, right? So the Dr. Franco asked her to imagine in that situation, her, ask her to imagine in that situation. Then she realized immediately that, oh my gosh, now I have a boy. At least I can live for that son, right? And find a meaning for that son, and be a kind mother. And also maybe she can give some support and make that boy also may have some purpose, so she can be a part of that son's purpose, so she can live as long as that boy needs her, isn't it? So how beautiful, right? So you are living for a person means it's a very meaningful. So sometimes we see some special need kids and their parents, they have a bigger meaning, because they have that baby chosen their parents. They came in their womb for a purpose, because they thought that yes, these parents will support me 100% and go through. Of course, they go through our pain and pleasure. But even pain comes, you have to have a pleasure, find a pleasure, because you have a family. At least you have a kid, and you are serving that kid. So that is the meaning. So when you see in that point of view, so he will make them bring their own purpose in their own imaginary ways. So they only understand why they have to live. So those are the situations he creates. And there was another one is like a doctor. He wanted to die after her wife left the body. Wife died and he wanted to die too. So he told, doctor told him to imagine, what if you had died before your wife, what would be the situation? Then wife, will be so much miserable, right? Because no money, because she will be usually, when husband is not there, wife's situation is so miserable. No financial help, no strength, right? So he would ask him to imagine if the wife died before him. Then he would feel, oh my gosh, no, my wife would have gone so much of suffering, because he can imagine what if wife died, because how she would go in his place. He has to imagine the wife. So wife would have gone more miserable than what he's going through now. So that's how he finds a meaning. So these are some case studies, masters. And then other one is Morita theory. This is all Morita therapy, sorry. So Morita therapy also talks about the therapeutic way, but in different than the logotherapy. So she's Shoma Morita, is a psychiatric and psychotherapist and Zen Buddhist and spiritualist. So it focuses on total acceptance. Okay, she says, accept whatever it comes, just accept it. And which is in contrast with the Western therapy. So what Western therapy says, your thinking leads to the feeling, and feeling leads to the action, right? How you think, you feel that way, and how you feel, you act that way. But what Morita says is, doesn't necessarily you act how you think. Because thoughts come and go, masters. They can be past life thoughts or just some beliefs, some from your environment or from your parents. You might have got all those thoughts in your head, deep rooted. That thinking cannot be your life. You don't need to act according to your thoughts, right? You can always act. What is your current situation? How you want to take your life to be? What direction you want to take? So that is your action. Action should be how you want to see your life, not how you think. If you always follow your thinking, thinking always leads to miserable, because thinking leads to feeling. How you think, that's how you feel. But you can always act differently. See, for example, you feel so angry on your husband because he hurt you, right? You feel so angry, but you can act silently. You can be quiet. You can act differently, masters, because you don't want to create a misery. Because always, again, if you have a miserable day, you will go through so much misery. So what Morita's theory says is you always choose your action, your attitude. Every step of your life, you have a choice to act differently, however you want. That's what the Morita theory is focuses. And he has three basic principles that his theory depends on. Is it accept your feelings? Do what you should be doing. Okay, you are feeling angry. You are feeling depression. Okay, have it. Okay, feel it. Let it go. And what you want to do now? You want to suicide? You want to die? Or you want to choose your decision to live stronger and live for others or live for yourself, right? So you can always find what you want to do right now in the current situation. And then you discover that leads to your discovering your future purpose, your life's purpose, right? So he says, you don't create your feelings. They simply come to us. Just welcome that. Sometimes even everything is good, but still you feel miserable. You don't know why. Usually I used to go through these situations sometimes, masters. Then I realize, oh, they are coming from my maybe past situations or something deep rooted, right? Because we always have, this is not the only life we have gone through. We have gone through several lifetimes in the before. So we have accumulated so much. So they have to come to the surface. So just let it go. And Thich Nhat is a Zen monk. He beautifully said how you have to invite those feelings and thoughts or, hello, solitude. How are you today? Come, sit with me and I will care for you. See, Master, how beautifully he said. So if an emotion comes to your life, invite them. It is your emotion. It's owned by you. So be gentle to yourself. Be gentle to that thought. So you have to say, solitude, come here, sit, I will care for you. So when you care for that, that pain will go away, masters. Experiment that. And then second point says, focus on the present moment. Okay, and character building. Character building means what is your attitude, how you want to behave in that situation. Focus on that. No intellectualizing the situation. Discover through experience. So don't think so much. We feel like, oh, we are so intelligent, and you bring your logical thinking. This is nothing to do with your logical, or you doesn't matter how intelligent you are, masters. You have to act at that present situation, right? Take every step, every situation, how you want to act without any intellectualizing your situation. We can't control our emotions, but we can take charge of our actions by having a clear purpose. So when you have clear purpose, masters, always your strong goal will be pointed to that goal. When you have a goal, there is no meaning, no matter how much pressure comes in all around you, doesn't matter to you. How Viktor Frankl was in a concentration camp, right? So he had a goal in mind. So have a strong goal, live for that and die for that. And next thing, masters, 4 phases of Morita therapy. So this Morita therapy usually runs like 15 to 21 days. And so what is the idea of this therapy is they want to bring the person re-enter to the society with a new mindset and sense of purpose. So he wanted to bring every person who are going through the sorrow or sad situations, bring them into a new, fresh life, as if you are living second life. So it has 4 stages. First, they will take the patient and they isolate them and ask them to rest. That is first week. So they don't know interaction. They just put them in a one room independently. They just have to have a me time. We say me time, right? Me time is just be themselves. They can interact by themselves, but not with the outside world. So that is the first, because these are the very strong, depressed or anxiety people, master. Okay, so they need a lot of body time. Then second week is light occupational therapy. Okay, they give them small exercises, like they can write down their journal, they can with their thoughts and feelings. So they give them slowly. Second week they give them a writing. First, no writing. They just have to contemplate the body, mind, and intellect, and the soul is just with them. They have to spend the time. And then third week is occupational therapy. So they give some occupation like gardening, writing, painting. Masters, can you please mute yourself? So third week is they give some gardening work or writing or painting, some skills they give. And then fourth week is practice meditation, and they ask them to continue all the gardening work or some little occupational jobs, small jobs they give. So that's how they slowly they bring them into reality, masters, right? Because they have thought something is end of the world, or somebody caused a pain and they are in depression. They lost their maybe family member or loved ones, they are in depression. So how they come out of it is they slowly exposed to these exercises, so they understand. When you write a journal, master, you will come out of any emotional. Masters, can you mute? Can someone mute her? Okay, so okay. And they go through the meditation, right, master? So what they do is, what they have an introspective meditation. What I have received from this person, if you have any pain from that person, you see what they are giving me the pain. Then second one is what I have given to them. Okay, they gave me pain, but what I have given, did I given the pain or did I given peace? In our reality, we always give pain. If they give pain, we want to give pain, right? But that is not right, masters. When they are giving pain, you just think, sit back and think. They might be going through so much suffering. They don't know what is their purpose, and they throwing all their pain into you. You don't need to fluctuate because you know your purpose. Even if you don't know purpose, just sit back and relax. When can you do, masters? Is it easy thing? No. When you practice mindfulness, like meditation or any skills, you may have different varieties of maintaining your mindfulness, calming your mind. When you are calm, it doesn't hesitate you. Nobody hesitates you. Then third question they have to ask during their contemplation is introspective session is, what problems have I caused person X? So what did I given them? Yeah, they gave us pain. Okay. But if you don't hesitate and if you are mindful, you don't give a pain back. You just maintain a silence and try to understand what I can understand from here. Maybe so many times it's a quietness, masters, in your family. You know, when you are quiet and you do your business, when you have a goal in your mind, then you don't fight with anyone, right? So that is the introspection you do usually whenever you're going through some pain. And now it's Ikigai. So what is from this therapy? What is how it is taking to the Ikigai is, you already found the meaning, right? By using these therapies, it may brought you why you want to live with the introspection or writing a journal, your feelings, and why you are suffering, because you want to solve some puzzle. So you want to live for that. Correct. So that is lead to Ikigai, which is your life purpose. And then, masters, we are almost reaching to the end. So in the following chapters, we will see basic tools, how you get moving along your path. So finding the flow, how you can find flow in every action you do, and how you can choose to do that, how you can live in a flow. How beautiful, right? And how you can do eating balanced and mindful way, and doing low intensity exercise, learning not to give in when difficulties arise. So these are the some chapters, we will learn in coming weeks. And what he says is, author says is, accept the world and don't expect, isn't it? Expectation is the main number one thing for us to go through these sufferings, masters. So once you go out of this, come out of these theories, these therapies, you identify your purpose or meaning. At least you move towards that, right? What makes you happiness? When to be quiet, when to talk, when not to talk. Is what is the bigger things? Is small is this? This is my kids' grades or happiness to me, or is there a bigger thing? If your kids' grades are happiness to you, then kid one day she will get A, oh, you are at the sixth cloud, and one day she gets a C, then you are depressed. That means your happiness depends on your kids. No, that's not right. Correct? Yes, you have to be there to guide them, to encourage them to do well. Yes, of course, motivate them, congratulate them, but don't live with those grades, because your life have a bigger things. Correct? So accept the world as it is, but don't expect. Don't think that, oh, I understood my purpose, I'm doing these mindfulness practices, and now I see the world differently, and everybody will listen to me. No, it is wrong. Again, it's expectation. We are here to just enjoy our life. Understand that life is full of opportunities for growth and achievement. Correct? So when you understand that, we don't cling on to these little things. When we don't know, yes, we will. That is the biggest thing for us. Achievements are bigger things for us. And a question, master, are you ready to throw yourself into a passion as if it were the most important thing in the world? Right? So those are some contemplation for you to think through. And Viktor Frankl has some books, Yes to Life, Man's Search for Meaning, and The Will to Meaning. These are some of the books, masters, if you want to read. And recap. So we have learned what is the meaning triangle, and how we can know our purpose in suffering. And we have seen briefly what is Ikigai, what you love, what you're good at, and what can be paid for. If you don't have job also, you may feel empty, because you feel like you don't have money to go and you want to depend on everyone. So that is also one of the parameter in your fulfilling your life. And then what is world needs, right? So yes, master, this is our today's topic, and next week we will learn about flow. Okay, finding flow in everything you do. Okay, so yes, master, thank you very much for listening to me. And if you have any questions, this is the Q&A session. I know we have gone a little further, but yes, master, you can unmute yourself or you can raise your hand and you can ask your questions if you have, or any doubts you may have, you that you it's hard for you to understand this concept or anything. Let's discuss, masters. Masters, are you able to see my?
Hello, Swarna ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for this beautiful concepts. Yeah, especially I am in love with this Frankel, because what you said through, that is concentration camp, that is the worst what a person can go through. A person who is in a who doesn't have a liberty of to live his life as he wants. More so, not even the basic needs, right? The food, sleep, clothing is also snatched. And yet he kept that hope, also losing his family members. What was it? What was that? That's the little hope. What he always felt was that there's something more in my life. The limitless feeling that is you, not just by depending on the surrounding or situation or people. And he beautifully describes how his uh, you know the concentration camp, how he survived, what those little things was he doing when others were not doing. The situation remained same, right, masters? It was the same, unpredictable, whenever possible. He is not even aware that when he'll be going to be dying. Okay, it's any moment, it is like that, the situation. So such worse situation also anyone can think. I think so we have most of it. Most of us have most of it. Basic needs are met most in most of our cases. Still, we don't have that happiness. And just think about this, why this is happening. As Swarna ma'am shared her experience saying that, I feel that, right? We have everything, still we feel helpless, hopeless. So that's where, the meaning he attached to his life was there's something more. And that more probably you don't know today, but just keep, thinking about it. That's what he meant to say. That logotherapy, he brought in the entire life, what he went through in concentration camp, became a purpose, or became a, to give this birth of this therapy, which is practically used in so many cases, masters, so many cases, so many situations, which are probably we must be doing it also, but unknowingly, we are not aware of it. but definitely he has given so much. This therapy has, as Swarna ma'am said, difference between analysis and therapy. Therapy has a more effect than actual just doing an analysis, and that's where therapeutic, we say, doctors say therapeutic treatment. So that's where his therapies are so much so helping people who are into this depression. We say so much of psychiatric cases, but most of the times it is like, if we go back, many of us are living life meaninglessly. So we don't know for what we are, that is where he's saying find a meaning. And a purpose doesn't mean just finding it anywhere. It is to find just a meaning. Even if you're doing simple, I still remember that Zoe Dispenza's book, You Are the Placebo, wherein many maids in hotel rooms, they started becoming leaner as they kept on working. This household works in all hotel housekeeping ladies, staff, housekeeping staff, they kept on, you know, putting an meaning to work what they were doing. Like, they said whatever we are doing, whenever we are cleaning, we are taking care, the physical work will make us leaner, you know. This is how it says. And that actually happened. So attach a meaning to whatever you are maybe doing a work. That's, even a mother when she's cooking, you probably, most of us ladies have a helping hand, but we still choose to do ourselves sometimes, right? Or most of the times. We don't want maid to cook this, maid to do that. Why is that? Because we attach a meaning to it, right? Probably we say our kids will eat a good food, very lovingly made by mother or wife, right? That's a purpose attaching. So even if you're cleaning, even any work which is of dislike of yours, because nothing comes, not all things are your likings, right? When the choice comes to do a work which is of your dislike, just find for a bigger meaning to it, and that becomes more easier. Even a job, if you are doing it which is of not liking, find a meaning to why you are there, then that work becomes at least an ease of working till you find your right job. So that's as simple as what a Frankel is doing in his therapy, that imagining a situation which could have been a worst than what situation today you are in, and then bringing a meaning to it. And that's exactly what beautifully Swarna ma'am today shared. And yeah, she, by her session ends later, she is going to definitely bring in this exercise wherein she's able to take us through this, how finding your own meaning to it. And that's what last time even Sindhuja ma'am put in that Venn diagram of finding your purpose, your occasion, your passion, right? And for what you can be paid for. Master, if that diagram, if you keep on contemplating and making a list to it, I'm sure by the end of 2 more sessions, Swarna ma'am will help us find individually our own things. Thank you, Swarna ma'am. Beautiful sharing. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lakshmi ma'am. Beautiful, beautifully you stated everything you covered. Yeah, and the one point I liked was like, if you don't like your job, that's what have been contemplating, right? Most of us. So if you don't like your job, just to see if you can find a thread that might be leading to what you want to do, right? It's not like completely scrap work you are doing and you want to jump and make a big leap and go to the new job. That's not how it works. Definitely, there are connecting dots to where you want to reach. So acquire that skill set. So don't think that, oh, no, I want to do different. That's what I thought. And I would always like complain, oh, this is not I want, this is not I want. Of course, you are in that stage, right? Finding your purpose. That's why all those thought process is going on. But that doesn't mean what you have got into, it's not totally incorrect. So be there. It might be teaching you patience. It might be teaching you how to handle people. Okay, so many things. Wherever you go, you have to know these skill sets, right? Patience, dealing with the people. At least learn those. Then go to the, how you said, like go to the next job until you find your own purpose. But don't scrap everything. No, do a crash mark and just sit there and wait that for a perfect job to come or perfect situation to come. That was, I was in that situation, Lakshmi ma'am, and thank you very much. You exactly put in what I wanted to stay and what I am going through. So thank you very much. Yeah, masters, others. I know this is a Diwali season for most of us, and I understand maybe you have to go somewhere and do something. But yeah, but if you have any questions, so beautiful book, masters. This one Ikigai, so many good points that brought in, and I learned so many things. And I never had a purpose in my life. I never plan a goal. I never plan anything. I just lived day by day, right? Today I used to proudly used to say that yes, I'm today, like in 24 hours, if I'm happy, I'm happy. But if the situation comes differently, right, then you are broken because you don't know where to go. You're like, you don't know the navigation. You don't know the compass. So the purpose is like a compass, masters. It will take you to the right direction. If you don't have compass, you are lost, right? So that is a analogy of your purpose. Yeah, also in a free will, right? You have a choose to, you can choose your purpose, or you can choose anything in any certain circumstance. And also let others to live a freedom. Give a free will to others also. What we do is we try to control others and we want to live freely. How is that possible, right? Because everybody has to grow. Usually Patriji sir says, like, until 7 years only is your child. After 7 years, once they talk, once they start going to schools, yes, he's by himself. He has maximum. And also even doctors say, like, until 2 years of the baby, they fully full maturity they get, like, their brain is matured 100%, like how the adult's brain is, right? So yeah, so everybody is just, they're little, so we need to guide and all. But yeah, we don't need to just totally 100%. Let them fail, let them choose what they want. But you be there, be guide them, but don't control them. Yeah, master, anybody else? Yeah, you can raise your hands, or I don't know if you can able to unmute yourself. Bipasha, you want to say a few things? Bipasha is my friend. She joined here today. And okay, masters, if you are all good with this topic, and yeah, I know you want to absorb so many things from this book, and at least we got some concept that we can think through and find our own purpose. So yeah, masters, then if there are no other questions, then I would conclude for today. And we'll meet again next week, next Saturday, Masters. We have these Saturday and Sunday sessions. Tomorrow there is no book sharing because of the Diwali festival. So we'll be meeting again next Saturday, same time, with a new topic, finding a flow, everything what you do. So that's another beautiful topic that I have learned so many things. So yeah, I think we can conclude for today. Thank you all masters for patiently listening to me today and giving an opportunity to all the spiritual tablet masters and Lakshmi ma'am and Ashok sir, Ravali ma'am and Chandra sir. We are missing you today. But yeah, you all have guided me so that I could deliver what I have understood from this topic. So yes, master. So let's all meet next week, and until then, have a wonderful day and enjoy your life. Bye bye.